Hello everyone, welcome to LegalStix Talks. I'm your host, Mr. Sanjeev Ghangash, and today we have a very special guest with us. He's an eminent political scientist, a well-known scholar of Dalit discourse in North India, and an assistant professor at DAV College for Girls in Yamunanagar, Haryana. He has written numerous articles on Gandhian and Ambedkarite philosophy, which has been published in national as well as international journals. He has also delivered several lectures in various national as well as international conferences and has authored several books on issues like United Nations, conflict resolution, media trial, and politics of South Asia. But today, we are here to discuss a topic that has been a forefront of Indian politics for decades, that is reservation. And who is better to shed some light on this subject than Dr. Krishan Kumar himself? We will be developing deep insights into the history, rationale, and controversy surrounding this policy. And we hope to provide our viewers a comprehensive understanding of this complex issue. So let's welcome Dr. Krishan Kumar to Legal Six Talks. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sanjeev. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude towards you and your team and your organization, LegalStix, which provided me such wonderful opportunity where I will able to express my views in front of public. And as I can imagine that your thought of process, your mind, LegalStix would be fruitful for the students of law, students of humanities, students of other disciplines, as well as policymakers, lawyers, judges, and all intellectuals can utilize this talk. And as we have choose today's topic, reservation, the topic is very debatable from its beginning, and I will try my best to explore its all dimension, which will be guide, which will be explain uh, all its positivity, its negativity in society, in India, its politics. So I will explore all dimensions regarding the reservations. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. And so let's start with our topic. Sir, can you explain to our viewers what reservation is and historical significance in India?
Uh, Reservation is a term which is also known so many names, so many terminology like that. Some people called it like that affirmative action. Some people called it positive discrimination, and some people called it is a way to get equality, to get liberty, to get fraternity, and all other issues. If we go to in the history of reservation, so before that I want to quote here the definition, which is by Oxford Dictionary. Reservation means a share which is reserved for particular people that would be used in future, and that share uh, will never use for all people. That share have used for particular group. So that's why in after independence, Indian government, Indian policymakers had reserved some seats in legislative, in executive, even in local judiciary for Dalits. And it's were a number of dimensions why they reserved these seats for Dalits, and at presently as Amendment 103, also 10% seats reserved for upper caste also, economic weaker section. So before this, that was a abuse, that reservation, but now every caste has reservation in India. I want to explain my views with my presentation.
Absolutely,
So
sir.
kindly,
Please.
Allow me.
Yes, sir. Here.
Thanks. As Sanjeev, I told you that the reservation, and when I read about the concept of reservation, so I found that there were a number of myths and reality regarding reservation, because a particular intellectuals, a particular group of society are and were mugging some type of um, thoughts in the mind of youths, like that Dalit intellectuals and Dalit supporters who still are mugging that if a Dalit want to job, so that means reservation should be continued. And the another hand, um, so-called upper caste intellectuals and other people accept that reservation uh, is the assassination of meritocracy. If all people want to jobs, so then reservation should be ended, because it was just for 10 years, it was just for some little times. So there are number of mythologies, number of myths, and but I will explore the reality of reservation. Then whenever a person, a group will talk about reservations, so then these group and person uh, ask some questions, like that: what is reservation, why it was adopted by India, for whose it was adopted, its impact on Indian society, contemporary scenario regarding reservations. So these are the major questions, and I will try to explore and try to answer of these questions. Reservation. Reservation is a positive discrimination, as our Indian Constitution, Article 15, which provided power to the government, power to the state, that uh, government can do some seats reserved for a particular backward, particular caste, particular group of peoples, because they people have not a sufficient representation in the system. Another thing, why it was adopted by India, because Indian society is a uh, puzzle for the not Indians, even foreign scholars also, because Indian society is divided on the grounds of caste, whether it is grounded on the religion, language, reason, but the most worst division on the basis of caste, because due to caste, Indian society in four classes. First is Brahmana, second is Kshatriya, third is Vaishya, fourth is Shudra, and fifth is also, which is out of all four classes, that is untouchables. So in the beginning, reservation was for the untouchables, so-called untouchables, and reservation started for 1892 by the uh, Jyotibai Phule, who first rose the question that if we want to um, include Dalits, untouchables in mainstream, so there is a need of reservation, because the society is not accepting them. Even they can't enter in particular area, they can't eat in particular area, even they have no equal rights, they have no equal um, opportunities, and but they are the part of societies. So that's why if we want to maintain uh, egalitarian society, so then there should be a need of reservation. So then William Hunter also accepted this idea, but at presently, which form we can see the reservation that was uh, happened in 1933 after the uh, Pune Pact. American Prime Minister, sorry, British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald awarded communal award, and which provided a reservation for the untouchables. And after that, these reservation continuously for the Dalits, and its impact on Indian society. With the help of reservation, Dalits and untouchables would be able to enter in mainstream, and now they are able to enjoy their rights. They are able to live a dignified life, and they have able to enter in judiciary. They have able to enter in executive, and they have able to enter in politics, and even they are entering in economics also. Next is reservation. As I have explained that a reservation is an area of land that kept separate for a particular group of people to live in. So this is the definition. Why it was adopted? This is a very biggest question. Why we adopted it? First, it's a reason why our policymakers adopted this policy, because this is a policy is not accepted by the all peoples, but our policy makers have adopted it. So some reasons behind that. First, inclusion of marginalized people in mainstream is the main purpose of reservation, because I have also explained that our society is divided on the grounds of caste, and some people marginalized, and they have no particular rights. Even they have no lands, they have no food, they have no clothes, and they are living in a very miserable conditions, and society also not accepted them as a human being. So but for egalitarian societies, so there is a need to the representation of all for the making of democracy strong, and that's why for the inclusion of marginalization, our policymaker adopted this reservation policy. Empowerment of the democracy, because as Dr. Ambedkar stated, because we are going to enter in a contradictory world, because where we will equally buy politically one person, one vote, one value, but as well as economically and socially we are not equally, because in socially we are categorized in particular categories that are first class, second class, third class, fourth class, and out of classes. So that's why there is a need of reservation and annihilation of caste, because caste is the biggest component for the discrimination in India. And if we want to annihilation of the caste, so that we need to adopt this affirmative action, that is reservation, because when in policy making system, all caste peoples will represent. So definitely they will make social welfare policies, and the people of another caste, maybe so-called upper caste people, also accept them. So after when they will be able to sitting together, so definitely they will eating together and they will dialogue together. So one day we will find that the casteism is disappear from the Indian society, and after independence we can analyze that people is not mind a particular caste, and they are sitting and eating and all friendship in among numerous caste. Empowerment of nationalism, because everybody love his or her nation. For that, uh, every individual should have a life of dignified. And with the help of reservation, when a particular groups people enter in mainstream, and when they become a professor, doctor, engineer, and politician, so their groups also feel that this is our nation, and they have a feeling of nationalism. So that's why reservation is also a tools to create nationalism. Another thing is that for whose uh, I also explained that there are number of criteria for whom this policy is uh, used, but basic is that is the discrimination. Like that in India, uh, Indian society also faced a discrimination, and some people also don't allow to enter in temples, don't allow to into particular rivers and water sources just due to their caste. So, who faced a discrimination on the grounds of caste, they were eligible for the reservation during the constitution making time. Like that in USA, discrimination basis color, because their society is divided in two categories, blacks and whites. So in the world, also division of society, division of people on the ground of gender, male and another genders. Professions also like that in India. Some profession is accepted as a very prestigious, very honored, like that service, IS services and doctors and professors. Another hand, some professions is not honored by Indians, like that sweepers and even sex workers is not accepted in India, and even our society is not accepted sex workers. Residential locations also sources of discrimination, like that Dharavi slum area in Mumbai and Machhiwada in Bengal, because these area particular for the slums area, and there people are living in miserable condition, and all people, maximum people belong to marginalization section. And last and but not least, component for the discrimination is identity. Sometimes a particular identity also converted as a cause of discrimination, like that identity of particular caste, particular color, particular religion, particular section. So these are the some components which are responsible for the discrimination, and for to remove this discrimination throughout the world. Even India and some other countries also adopted the policy of reservation. Next is Indian society, because I have already explained that the Indian society is divided on the basis of caste, and that's why in the beginning the reservation for the SCs and STs. Later on, OBC is also included in this reservation, and recently so-called upper caste also included in this list. Caste is a big discourse in Indian society, and our politician and our state leader also faced a number of problems due to caste. But I want to explain here how our statesmen dealing with the caste. If you go to the history, so we will find that firstly Gandhi accepted the caste, but he ignoring the concept of inferiority and superiority. He accepted that all castes are equally. He can't accept that the particular caste peoples are unequal and superior and particular inferior. So he deal with this acceptance but equality. Ambedkar analyzed that caste is the biggest matter for the um, Indian society, and some people enjoying privileged due to caste, and some people not even living a dignified life just due to their caste. So he was on a mission, that mission was is a annihilation of caste, and still his mission is continuously going on. Our government, our scholars, our policymakers continuously working on that, how we can uh, make a society not a classless, caste less society. And later on, after independence, as our first Prime Minister Nehru also faced the caste-based discourse, but he was very aware about the discourse of caste, and he ignoring the caste. Nehru never spoke about the caste matter. Later on, Dalit Panther, who generated a new consciousness among Dalits, and uh, later on, like that, Manevar Kashiramji, who also accepted the caste, and he spoke his peoples that they accepted the caste, but now they handle the caste, and they handle the caste to try to find out the place in the particular institution, whether the politics, whether the bureaucracy, whether the business, all classes they have need. And he coined another word for them, that is the word is Bahujan word. He all only categorize Indian society in two categories, Bahujan or another, and another only three caste like that, the Brahman, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, and all other caste, whether the Shudra, Ati Shudra, and minorities, all that are called by him Bahujan. Later on, Professor Kanchaila also Dalit Bahujan, and he categorized in that the all Bahujan is not Hindu, and he wrote a very interesting book, Why I'm Not a Hindu. Before him, Bretton Russell wrote Why I'm Not a Christian. Later on, Sashi Thurur wrote Why I Am a Hindu. So the narrative is continuously going on. How our statesmen uh, will, de- will deal with caste. Uh, I have also explained that the components of discrimination, the major components, again, gender and color. Profession also have components for the discrimination, because in my slide you can see that still people are dying just due to their profession. As in this slide you can see that 631 people died cleaning sewers, septic tanks in last 10 years, as the report of NCSK. So it is a very um, very serious matter, because our government, our policy makers can save the life of these peoples. And after that, our government and our policy makers did some efforts, as 2014 act was uh, made by government, that is the manual scavenging regarding. And now manual scavenging is a totally crime. Nobody is trying to force to clean or their shit, and to जो क्लीन है वो उसको अपने सिर पर शीट को अपने सिर पर नहीं ले जा सकता. बट अभी भी कहीं कहीं पर ये जो हम देख सकते हैं कि जस्ट लाइक दैट मैनुअल स्क्वेंजिंग अभी भी है. तो जैसे कि अरुंधति रॉय जो है अपनी बुक में लिखती है, डॉक्टर एंड द संत में, कि स्टिल millions people are working in railways and there is a manual scavenging. This is also an issue, and these manual scavengers need reservation, because the people are not included in the mainstream. History of reservation, as William Hunter and Jyotibai Phule, later on Sahuji Maharaj announced the reservation in 1902 in state Kolhapur, Maharashtra, for the untouchables. Then Ramsay MacDonald, British Prime Minister, Communal Award. देन ये सेपरेट इलेक्टोरल था, जिसकी वजह से फिर पूना पैक्ट हुआ गांधी और अंबेडकर के बीच में. और 91 में मंडल कमीशन आया, जिसमें 27% जो रिजर्वेशन है वो ओबीसी के लिए भी इंक्लूड किया गया. रिजर्वेशन इज रिप्रेजेंटेशन. एज आई गो टू इन द स्टडी ऑफ रिजर्वेशन, सो आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन. रिजर्वेशन इज अ रिप्रेजेंटेशन, तो इज इट अ रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ दलित इन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन? Is it poverty remove program? Is it program of employment? Is it a program of social inclusion? So in these questions, I agree totally that it is a representation of Dalits in administration, because reservation is not a single source to remove poverty, because our government also helping startup and a number of industries business which are able to removing poverty. It is not the program of employment, because in later on I will explain how reservation is just a limited area, and it is a program of social inclusion of the marginalized people. Some constitutional provisions for the reservation as article 16 for 16 का जो चौथा उसका सेक्शन है वो डिफाइन करता है कि कुछ लोगों के लिए जो है वो रिजर्वेशन की जा सकती है। आर्टिकल 330 जो है पार्लियामेंट में जो एससीज हैं उनके लिए सीट रिजर्व करता है। आर्टिकल 332 जो है वो स्टेट असेंबलीज में स्टेट जो दलित है उनके लिए सीट को रिजर्व करता है। आर्टिकल 35 जो है वो जॉब्स में दलित के लिए सीट का रिजर्वेशन करता है। आर्टिकल 338 के अकॉर्डिंग एक नेशनल कमीशन बना है फॉर शेड्यूल कास्ट। फिर आर्टिकल 338 ए में नेशनल कमीशन बना है फॉर शेड्यूल ट्राइब्स। एंड आर्टिकल 340 जो है ये ओबीसी से रिलेटेड है बीपी मंडल 1978 में। और आर्टिकल 341 जो है प्रेसिडेंट के हाथ में ये राइट है कि वो किसी भी पर्टिकुलर कास्ट को जो है शेड्यूल कास्ट या शेड्यूल ट्राइब में या ओबीसी में इंक्लूड कर सकता है या एक्सक्लूड कर सकता है।
Sir,
These are,
is there any? I wish to ask a one question.
yeah,
So,
please.
is there any criteria of selecting this reservation caste or something?
Yeah. uh, Sanjeev, thank you. Your question is very very interesting question. There are a
You
number
can
of
show the PPT as
criteria.
well. Yes.
Yeah, there are a number of criteria for the reservation. If you go to history, so then Jyotibai Phule, Hunter Committee, and Ramsay MacDonald and Ambedkar, so they have accepted the particular criteria that was a social criteria. When a person faced any type of exploitation, any type of discrimination, any type of humiliation due to his या her caste या his social status, so that person, that group must have need a reservation. So that time the area the criteria for the reservation is social hierarchy. But later on it was also changed, because if you go to the Mandal Commission, so other backward caste uh, which has at present 27% reservation, and that caste have not yeah, had not faced any social, yeah, any discrimination on the ground of caste, because they were belong to the particular uh, landlords, and they have good professions like that in army and other, but their representation is not good in the system, because OBCs were not representing in the parliament, they were not representing in the bureaucracy, they were not representing in the judiciary. So that's why Mandal Commission um, um, accepted that there is a need for the reservation of OBCs. So then the criteria changed that reservation, not the discrimination, and reservation. But at presently, if you go to the in the 103 amendment, when our government announced 10% reservation for economic weaker section, the category, the terminology which they used, economic weaker. Now again the criteria has changed. Firstly, social hierarchy. Secondly, representation in system. Thirdly, इकोनॉमिक वीकर, कि जो जो भी जनरल कास्ट है या अपर कैटेगरीज में जो इकोनॉमिक वीकर्स लोग हैं, जो कैटेगरीज है, उनको भी क्या है मेन स्ट्रीम में आने के लिए रिजर्वेशन की जरूरत है। और मैं आपके लीगल स्टिक से मतलब ये भी कहना चाहता हूं कि अभी अगला जो क्राइटेरिया होगा रिजर्वेशन का वो होगा जेंडर, because third gender, some other genders, even women also demanding some reservation, and also our government also provided reservation women in the local legislator, like that in panchayats they have 33% reservation. So maybe they will also ask and claim in the legislative executive. But there is a, a question, there is a contradiction between this demand, because when women demand reservation due to their gender identity, then some political party and some Dalit scholars and some Dalit um intellectuals, what will be the share of Dalit women, because women are also categorized in particular categories. All women are not equally treated, like that urban women, women face different type of problems, rural women face will face different type of problem, like that working woman will be faced different type of problems, and the home working woman will face different type of problems, uh, like that literate women have a different type of problems, illiterate women have a different type of problems. So same times Dalit women have a different problems, and the other so-called upper caste women have a different problems. Even I read a book of Anupama Roy, and I got a point when Mandal Commission was implemented by the Indian government. So अपर कास्ट की जो वुमेन्स थी वो एजिटेशन पे थी, और वो कह रही थी कि हमें जो है अनएम्प्लॉयड दूल्हे नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि उनको था कि ये जो मिला है रिजर्वेशन, इससे क्या होगा, जो क्या बोलते हैं जनरल कास्ट है, सो कॉल्ड अपर कास्ट है, उसका जो शेयर है वो एम्प्लॉयमेंट में कम हो जाएगा। तो इस तरह का उनका था। इसी तरह से जब मुंबई में जो बार्स थे उनको बंद किया गया, तो अपर कास्ट की जो वुमेन्स थी वो खुश हुई, क्योंकि उनको लगा कि चलो ठीक है। लेकिन जो लोअर कास्ट की वुमेन्स थी, खासकर दलित वुमन, उनके लिए बड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स हुई, और बाद में उनमें से कई वुमेन्स ने अपने जो जीवनी में लिखा है, उनसे इंटरव्यू लिए गए कि उन्होंने कैसे उन बार के बंद होने के बाद वो कैसे प्रोस्टिट्यूट में बदल गई, और कैसे उनको फाइनेंशियली और हेल्थ की और दूसरी सोशल प्रॉब्लम को फेस करना पड़ा। तो कई बार जो है ये जो इसका जो क्राइटेरिया है कंटिन्यूसली चेंज हो रहा है।
सर रिसेंटली एक जजमेंट भी आई थी इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द एनडीए, the rejection of 50% quota of women in NDA. So, do you have any stake on this?
रिपीट करना संजीव अगेन प्लीज काइंडली।
सर अभी रिसेंटली सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक जजमेंट पास की थी इन एनडीए अबाउट एनडीए वुमेन्स रिजर्वेशन इन एनडीए एंड इट वाज डिक्लाइंड बाय द सुप्रीम कोर्ट।
Yeah, this is the main reason, okay, because it is a new criteria for reservation. So if we go to the criteria, so then everybody need a reservation. So if 100% reservation, then its relevance also uh, questionable. Its relevance is that कि जो लोग मेन स्ट्रीम में नहीं आ रहे हैं, सिस्टम में नहीं आ रहे हैं, उनको इंक्लूड किया जाए। रिजर्वेशन जो है इसका एम्प्लॉयमेंट से लेना, इसका कोई बेरोजगारी को कम करना या गरीबी को कम करना, इनसे इसका कोई ज्यादा लेना देना नहीं है। अभी नेक्स्ट में स्लाइड में आपको बताऊंगा कि कितने परसेंट जो जॉब्स हैं वो गवर्नमेंट है, और कहाँ कहाँ पे रिजर्वेशन है, कहाँ कहाँ पे नहीं है। सो लाइक दैट संजीव, जैसे ये है, ये देखिए मिथ और रियलिटी कितना है रिजर्वेशन के बारे में, कि लोगों को लगता है कि रिजर्वेशन कितना है। अभी एससीज के लिए जो है वो 7.5 रिजर्वेशन है, एस सॉरी एसटी के लिए, एससी के लिए 50% है, ओबीसी के लिए 27% है, इकोनॉमिक वीकर सेक्शन के लिए 10% है, और टोटल ये क्या हो गया 59.50%। लेटर ऑन अब कहाँ कहाँ पर है ये, अगर हम बात करें इसकी रियलिटी की, तो हमारा जो टोटल जॉब्स है 100%, उस 100% जॉब में से 92% जो हमारा सेक्टर है वो अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है। 92%। उस अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में किसी भी तरह का कोई भी रिजर्वेशन नहीं है। उसके बाद जो हमारा ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है वो 8% है। उसमें भी, ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में भी, जो प्राइवेट सेक्टर है वो 5% है जहां पे रिजर्वेशन नहीं है। गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर जो है वो 3% है। उस 3% गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में भी आप देखोगे जो रिक्रूटमेंट थ्रू प्रमोशन 2%, जो रिक्रूटमेंट जो प्रमोशन के थ्रू रिक्रूटमेंट होते हैं उसमें 2% है, और वहां पर रिजर्वेशन नहीं है। कुछ कुछ स्टेट देता है प्रमोशन में रिजर्वेशन। उसके बाद बचता है जो एंट्री लेवल पे जॉब्स है वो 1% है, और वहां पे जो रिजर्वेशन है वो पहले ही था, मतलब 50-50, 50 रिजर्व था, 50 अनरिजर्व था। अभी तो 50 से ज्यादा जो है वो क्या हो गया, रिजर्व हो गया। और यहाँ पर भी जो भरी जाती हैं जो सीटें हैं वो 0.25% है, मतलब इतनी वैकेंसीज भरी जाती हैं। तो आप ये देखेंगे कि जो रिजर्वेशन का, अगर हम जॉब से लगाएं, अगर हम इसका इकोनॉमी से लगाएं, अगर हम इसका किसी और पर्पज से लगाएं, तो वहां पर इसका इतना रोल नहीं है। लेकिन इसका जो मेन रोल है वो है कि जो लोग मेन स्ट्रीम में नहीं है, जो हाशिए पे हैं, जो मार्जिनलाइज्ड हैं, जो डिप्राइव्ड हैं, उनको मेन स्ट्रीम में कैसे लेके जाए और उनका रिप्रेजेंटेशन हो, और वो फिर रिप्रेजेंट अपनी सोसाइटी को, अपनी क्लास को रिप्रेजेंट करे और उनके लिए पॉलिसीज बनाए। नेक्स्ट इज कि जैसे अभी मैंने आपको बोला, आपका क्वेश्चन भी था, इसी का आंसर है कि विल जेंडर बी द नेक्स्ट बेसिस ऑफ रिजर्वेशन, वाज रिजर्वेशन ए पॉवर्टी एलिवेशन मैकेनिज्म। तो ये क्वेश्चंस जो थे उनका मैंने आंसर ऑलरेडी दिया है पहले ही कि ये इस तरह का कोई प्रोग्राम नहीं है, ये उसके रिगार्डिंग था। और अभी भी रिजर्वेशन को लेकर जो मिथ है, लेकिन उसमें ये है कि जब अगर इससे कोई बेटर हमारे पास मैकेनिज्म क्रिएट हो जाता है तो हमें रिजर्वेशन को छोड़ देना चाहिए। लेकिन जब तक हमारे
Definitely,
पास
sir.
कोई बेहतर मैकेनिज्म नहीं है तब तक इसको चलता रहना चाहिए। रिप्रेजेंटेशन लोगों का रहेगा, डाइवर्सिटी का, इंडिया में डाइवर्सिटी
Sir,
बहुत है, और सभी क्लास और सभी रिलीजन का जितना रिप्रेजेंटेशन रहेगा तो उतनी ही जो पॉलिसी है वो पब्लिक वेलफेयर की पॉलिसी बनेगी। और पब्लिक वेलफेयर रहेगा तो हमारी जो डेमोक्रेसी है वो स्ट्रॉन्ग रहेगी, और हमारी डेमोक्रेसी स्ट्रॉन्ग रहेगी तो हमारा पीस मेंटेन रहेगा, और हमारा जो पीस मेंटेन रहेगा तो फिर हमारा जो डेफिनेटली डेवलपमेंट करेंगे हम, और डेवलपमेंट करेंगे तो फिर हमारे ये पॉवर्टी और ये पर कैपिटा इनकम, ये सब चीजें जो है हमारी मतलब अच्छी हो जाएंगी। पॉवर्टी हम कम हो जाएगी और पर कैपिटा इनकम ज्यादा हो जाएगी। पर कैपिटा इनकम भी नहीं बल्कि पर्टिकुलर जो इंडिविजुअल की लाइफ है, उसका जो स्टेटस है, उसका लाइफस्टाइल है, उसकी जो लाइफ है वो एक्चुअल में अच्छी हो जाएगी। ये एक उसका एक प्रोसेस है।
yes, sir.
ड्रीम्स ऑफ स्टेट्समैन स्टिल पेंडिंग, बिकॉज वी हैव नीड for just not equality, we have need equity also, because equality means when we treat all people equals, and equity means when we distribution the sources among people which they have need. So Sanjeev, these are my presentation. uh, I hope you have some questions regarding uh, sorry. You are, Sanjeev, I'm sorry I interrupt you, but you are not audible properly.
Sorry. Sir, if the
Yes.
presentation is over, you can stop the presenting. Stop presenting. Yes, I do have a questions with respect to the same.
Sanjeev,
Shall I?
any question,
Yes, sir. Sir,
please?
as you've said, if you have told about reservation and its policy and its mechanism, but I wish to ask that is there any dilemma with the Indian politics? Like, what are the political implication of these policies?
Hmm. Uh, reservation is a tool for politician, and they are continuously using this tool to capture votes. Otherwise, reservation is a representation, as I already explained. And if our government and our policy makers able to produce more and more opportunities, and our policymakers should have focused on to provide all people good opportunities, good health facilities, good education facilities. So then people will leave this policy also. And at presently, if we are going in the privatization, and day by day our institution is going to private, and some people think that this is the good policy because it's creates some healthy competition. But Dalit scholar accept that it is against for their rights, because private sector is not accepting the policy of reservation. Whether a private university take funds from the government and fulfill all criteria, but these universities not follow the only single criteria, that is the criteria of reservation. So that's why some scholar question mark on the privatization. But as per my opinion, this is the time for the skill time. If an individual has a particular skill, so then individual definitely will survive. Otherwise, he or she will not able to survive in this global world. So this is a time of skill.
Yes, sir. Sir, is it possible that a private company can also have this reservation?
हम्म, पॉसिबल है, वैसे ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, बिकॉज जैसे हमने बोला कि रिजर्वेशन जो है 50% है, लेकिन प्राइवेट में क्या है कि जो सेक्टर है वो 5% सेक्टर जो है ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है, और वो जो 5% सेक्टर है वो ये चाहता है कि उसको अच्छे कैंडिडेट मिले, तो वो उसका पर्पस है प्रॉफिट। प्राइवेट सेक्टर बेसिकली उसका गोल जो है वो पब्लिक वेलफेयर हो एंड सोशल inclusion and social welfare is not a part of private sector. It's only simple goal, one goal, that is profit. And for for the profit, if anybody have a skill, so they will definitely hire that person. If the particular person persons have no skill, so they will not bother to accept that person will be the member of their company, their team. So that's why private sector is but we can find out some private sector like that in education, and like that some other companies जो एबल है, जो कर सकती हैं अच्छे अच्छे, अगर उनको लोगों मिले हैं। लेकिन वो ये एक डिलेमा है, क्योंकि लोग मांग कर रहे हैं कि प्राइवेट में भी हो जाए, और लेकिन दूसरी तरफ प्राइवेट जो कंपनी है वो चाह रही है कि वो क्यों करेंगे, ये भी सोचने की बात है, वो क्यों करेंगे। लेकिन वही है कि अगर स्किल है तो फिर वो उनके लिए मैटर नहीं है क्या कास्ट है, क्या रिलीजन है, क्या जेंडर है। अभी आपने देखा ही था कि गूगल ने सेम डे पे क्या हुआ, अपने हजारों कर्मचारियों को हटाया और वहीं पे सेम डे एक लड़की को हायर किया जिसका पैकेज करोड़ों में था। तो ये मतलब एक डिलेमा है।
So definitely, this is a dilemma. But still, there are some urban people and the students who are like saying that why reservation? The thing is, they are always challenging it because they think that they are the people who are getting the reservation are already at the good stage and they don't need that. And this questions occurs in the mind of these students. So, do you have any stake on this?
Yeah, in the beginning of this session, I told you that some people in mugging in the mind of youth. If you want to job, so then you firstly destroy this reservation policy. No, reservation is not the obstacle in their way. The obstacle in way because our policy maker is not able to create more and more opportunities. If the reservation today is destroyed, so that means not everybody will getting the jobs, and it means not also that Dalit will not able to getting any job without reservation. Some people are working Dalits from in foreign, so they are on the basis of their criteria, their eligibility, their skill. So this is also a mugging in the mind of youth.
So do
We
you
can
want?
explain it that reservation is a not a program for employment. It is a program just for representation.
So, sir, if you want to give any insights to these students, like what they should do and what they should not do, that would be much more beneficial for them.
मेरा तो स्टूडेंट्स को यही एक उनको रहेगा सुझाव कि आप ये जो रिजर्वेशन है इसको लेकर अपने माइंड में कोई भी एक जो है पहले ही सब्जेक्टिविटी क्रिएट ना करें, और आपने सिर्फ एक ही काम करना है, स्टूडेंट ने स्किल को अपनी जो है उसको करते जाए, मैक्सिमम स्किल्स जो होंगी उनके पास, तो डेफिनेटली फिर वो उनके लिए अपॉर्चुनिटीज की कमी नहीं है। क्योंकि अभी जो है ये जो टाइम है ये स्किल का टाइम है। यहाँ पे जो दूसरे डायमेंशन है, दूसरे जो कंपोनेंट्स हैं वो सेकेंडरी हो गए हैं। अभी हमारा जेंडर, हमारा कलर, हमारी कास्ट, हमारी रिलीजन ये मैटर नहीं करती। अगर स्किल है तो एवरीबडी विल रिस्पेक्ट, एवरीबडी एक्सेप्ट अ पर्सन।
Sir, thank you so much for your wonderful insights. It was truly an enlightening discussion, and we learned a lot from you. We hope that our viewer found this discussion very informative and thought-provoking. So, before we wrap up, is there anything you would like to say to our viewers, or any final thought you would like to leave with us?
My final view is that firstly they should have just focus on their study and away from the college politics and student politics. If they will focus their studies, so definitely they will achieve and they will get good opportunities, whether in India, whether out of India. So this is my opinion.
But the student politics will never end, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
but it's my
believe.
personal opinion, as you asked me. So
Yes, yes. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And thank you, sir, for these inspiring
thank you,
words. We
thanks for
hope,
this.
yes, sir, we
Okay.
hope this
Hmm.
discussion will create more awareness about the issue of reservation in Indian politics. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in, and we'll
Thank you,
see you next
thank you.
time for the Legal Sticks Talks. Thank
Okay,
you,
okay,
sir.
bye. Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir.